Hey everyone, this is Randy from BibleBuyingGuide.com. Today I'm looking at the New King James Single-Column Verse-by-Verse Reference Bible from Thomas Nelson. I have it in the genuine leather, brown, and the green Leathersoft. So let's take a quick look at what we have here. It is a single-column layout, verse-by-verse, 72,000 cross-references, and it does have the full set of translator's notes, line matching, 2 satin ribbons, 9-point New King James Comfort Print font. So let's take a quick look at what we have here. So here's a look at our text. It is a beautiful layout, single column, with lots of space between the lines, about 12 to 14 words per line depending on the line. The references are in the inner margin, and the advantage to this is that the text is on the flat part of the page. So where you would normally have the text bending into the gutter, there is no gutter now. That works really well. So this is the genuine leather. This is the one that I've been using. I haven't used this one much because I didn't want to go through and separate all the pages, because these pages are still stuck together and that hurts after a while. So I'm using this one. So the brown genuine leather is smooth. It looks like a natural grain. Perimeter stitching. There's our spine with raised hubs. And it has an elegant pattern for the edges, for the page edges. I like that. 2 ribbons, a brown and a red. It's like 3/8 inch. So the genuine leather, get this one out of the way so I can show you, has a vinyl paste down liner, and it will stay open. So it will stay open the first page of Genesis. The green Leathersoft doesn't want to stay open as easily, but if you open this up this way, it just stays open, no problem at all. So no trouble at all. So this was printed in China. Both of them were. Using the 2K Denmark typeface for comfort print. Paper is 30 GSM. And it just looks nice. That's a good looking layout. Every verse is indented. And paragraphs are marked with bold verse numbers. So everything is black except for red letter in the New Testament. So there's the red letter. And it does have the poetic format. It does have the list format for lists. And it has letters. I'll show you some lists and letters. So there's a list. And then over here in Ezra, we'll see a letter. There's a letter format. This is excellent for reading, for preaching. I've preached from it. The text is a little small for my eyes. It is a true 9-point. But the text could be a little bit larger, but I'm 56. So, I mean, I need a little bit larger font at this point anyway. So if you don't need a large font, then this is an excellent choice for preaching. And then in the back, we have 2 tools. We have the concordance, and we have maps. And I'll show you those real quick. Something interesting about this concordance, which stands out to me. I like it a lot. It's a large concordance, and it has word studies. And it gives us the Strong's number, and it gives us a definition, and it does include Hebrew and Greek. So these are, it's not every word, but it's a lot of words. I like that a lot. So a lot of words have word studies. Good size concordance. This is excellent for study and for sermon prep. And then in the far back, we have maps on thick semi-gloss paper. This is the Zondervan maps, 7 maps on 8 pages. And then you can see our stitching there. It is a sewn binding. That's a good looking layout. I like that a lot. A little bit of cockling in the center on both of these. Not real obvious, not real bad, but it is there. So we can see it on this one. You can hear it on this one more than you can see it. Not much, but there's a touch in there. A little bit of cockling, just enough to mention it. So let's take a look at the size and weight. The overall size, if you need to buy a case or put it in something, is 5 3/4 by 8 7/8 by 1 1/2. And then the Leathersoft is going to be about the same. It might be a hair thinner. Yeah, it's the same. Leathersoft is going to be the same. Leathersoft is 2 pounds 2 ounces, and the genuine leather 2 pounds 3.1 ounces. A little bit more weight on that leather. So there are a few Bibles that stand out to me that these compare to, and they compare really well. So let's take a look. First is the New King James Single-Column Reference Bible in paragraph. They have the same footprint, but the paragraph edition is a little thicker, just a little. Now, the paragraph edition is a little bit more elegant also. It is a 36 GSM paper, and it also has red highlights. They both have the same, exactly the same references and the same footnotes. Here's how they compare. So there's Jeremiah and Jeremiah. Compare the font size. Both look good. The text on the paragraph edition is a little bit larger. So slightly larger text on the paragraph edition, but they both look really good. I like that. Now, the paragraph also has a fancy gilt edge, a fancy pattern on the edge, and it's quite a bit different. Here's how they look. There's the edges. Quite a bit different design. This one is a black letter text with red highlights. Next is the New King James Clarion. Same thickness, but it has a smaller footprint. Quite a bit smaller footprint. Thickness is the same. Now the Clarion has 28 GSM paper, and it has a larger font. Here's how they compare. They both have the same references and the same footnotes. So there's Jeremiah in both. A little bit difficult to compare the same pages. So that is how they compare. Both are elegant designs. This one is black letter. And then finally is the King James Personal Size Large Print Reference Bible from Thomas Nelson. Now this one is in a different price category because it is a premier collection in goatskin. But it is also a verse by verse in the KJV line, KJV versus NKJV. KJV is a little thicker and has a little bit larger footprint. So there's how they compare. Now the KJV is a premier collection, so it has 36 GSM paper, and it also has quite a bit larger font. So there's how they compare. A darker font also. But the darker font is typical of something with the European 36 GSM paper. Here's how they compare. And the KJV does not have any special formatting at all. So no poetry, no letters, nothing like that, just verse by verse. So that is my quick look at the Thomas Nelson Single-Column Verse by Verse Reference Bible in Leathersoft and brown genuine leather. I like both. I prefer the genuine leather to the Leathersoft, but they use the same text block. They're both sewn bindings. Everything about them is the same other than the leather. I do prefer the vinyl liner to the paper liner, and I do prefer the genuine leather. So if you can get one or the other, I would recommend the genuine leather. Both are excellent Bibles. I like these a lot. The green and red versus the brown and red. So this is a good Bible for personal study. The references are excellent for study and sermon prep. The concordance is excellent for sermon prep and for personal study. It's good for preaching as long as you don't need a larger font. It's good for reading simply because it does still have the poetic format, It does still have lists look like lists, letters look like letters. So I recommend this one. I like that a lot. I'll leave links in the notes so you can make a purchase if you're interested. Also, Thomas Nelson did supply these in exchange for an honest review. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks.